Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of That's All Funny, episode number 911. That's right, 911. We made it to the promised land that is 911. Never forget, never forget. Yeah, this episode is gonna be a little different because I downloaded an app. I'm gonna see how this goes. I downloaded an app called Linda, right? It's called Linda. It's a website called Lynda.ai. And the Linda app, what it does is it records. It's like an AI app, and it generates interview questions, and it asks you interview questions that which you answer, and it records it, and it sort of makes it builds a podcast. Like you're the person being interviewed for this host that is Lynda.ai, and you're the podcast guest. So you're being questioned all these questions, and it asked me questions pertaining to you know my life, my personal life. Basically the app is like, oh, your stories are stories that deserve to be told or should be told, and people should hear them. So this is like the best way, if you don't know or not comfortable doing it, to get you started. And I was intrigued by it because I was like, I saw it promoted on the app store, and I was just like, huh, I've been wanting to try out more apps. I've been wanting to do a show about, like, trying out. There's an app for that. There's an app for that. So there's a bunch of apps, right? The same with like streaming services. There's a bunch of apps. So I wanted to do that. So here is the episode today is just me being interviewed by this Lynda.ai, and then you hearing my interview. So that's gonna be the show. So sit back, relax, and hear this interview of me being interviewed by Lynda.ai.
I am Linda, the AI companion that helps you tell the story of your life. Everyone's voice is worth hearing, and I'm here to help every step of the way. Is there any special significance to how you got your first or middle name?
Yeah, my first name, Lorenzo, was given to me. I was named after my great grandmother. Her name was Lorenza, and it's just, yeah, a name that was passed on. I have a middle name too, Andres, that was passed on from my great grandmother Andrea. So it was really just keeping the family name going.
That's a wonderful family tradition. Do you have any nicknames?
Yeah, I go by like Renzi, Renzo, Lo, Zoe, uh maybe Ren. I don't know, like they weren't really nicknames I gave myself. They were nicknames given to me, by other people, So yeah, that was those were the nicknames I kind of go by.
I love how your nicknames evolved organically from the people in your life rather than being self-selected. What era were you born in? Do you feel like you identify with a particular generation?
I don't know what era I was born in. I was born in the late 80s, so I really grew up in the 90s. So yeah, really what everyone's like nostalgic for right now, it seems. But yeah, I grew up in the 90s, but I was born in the late 80s, so I really am particular with the 90s generation is when I grew up.
Huh? A 90s kid. That's definitely a generation experiencing a big wave of nostalgia right now. What do you think your generation is known for or has contributed to society that makes it unique?
Maybe like the internet, I feel like, cause well, I mean, the internet was here before then, but I feel like the internet really became more of a widespread thing back then, in the 90s with AOL and all that. So yeah, I think that was when everything, cell phones were starting to become more popular and with everyone. And it just, there's a lot of toys, there's a lot of nostalgia linked to the 90s that everyone can look back on with rose colored shades.
You've captured that perfect 90s technological transition. Witnessing the internet and cell phones becoming mainstream certainly gives your generation a unique perspective. Looking back, if you could go back and visit any period of your life so far, which one would you pick and why?
I'd probably go back to when I was like a teenager, 13, and make a couple of different choices, especially like with I'd probably go back to when I was like a teenager, 13, and make a couple of different choices, especially like with
I notice you're reflecting on your teenage years. Is there a particular day or moment from that time you would love to experience again?
I mean, just going back and giving myself better advice. There's not really, I don't know. I liked when we would skateboard when I was a kid and hanging out with friends, or being there with like a girl that you have a crush on, and maybe doing more instead of just pondering it and not uh, acting. Just overthinking. I wouldn't overthink the small things, and then care. I would care more about the big things.
That balance of not overthinking the small moments while giving more attention to the bigger things is such timeless wisdom from your skateboarding days. Who has been one of your biggest role models in life, and why?
I don't know. That's a good question. I haven't really had any role models. I mean, I grew up a lot watching cartoons, and I liked watching the reruns of like those old uh like Leave It to Beaver, Dick Van Dyke TV shows. So I kind of feel like television raised me, and the role models were like the TV dads that you would see in the old sitcoms, that told you to sit up straight and brush your teeth and say your prayers and stuff like that.
That's fascinating to hear how television and those classic sitcom father figures became your role models growing up. What's a piece of advice you've received, perhaps even from one of those TV dads, that has stuck with you over the years?
Just that I feel like I would watch a lot of comedies, so I feel like timing is everything. It's all about knowing when to say the right thing at the right time and to elicit that emotion, whether it's like tears or laughter. It's all about timing, and just to the golden rule also, to like treat others the way you would want to be treated. I feel like that's just a given in life, and that's what really taught me those role models.
Timing truly is everything in comedy and in life. I love how you've absorbed both the performance wisdom and the golden rule from those classic TV shows. As I'm getting to know you a little better, I'm curious what brought you here today. Why do you want to share your stories?
I mean, I saw the app to download. I was really, I don't know, I was just out with the dogs, and I thought I'd open up this app and see what it was. And yeah, it's surprising me what it is. It's it's not what I thought it was. And I don't know, I'm still curious to know what else it could be, this app. So I mean, I'm already used to being a person who that shares their stories. I don't mind doing it, and I do enjoy doing it. I just was curious to see in what way, shape, or form this would uh, get me to share those memories.
I appreciate your curiosity. It sounds like you stumbled upon this app while walking your dogs and were intrigued enough to give it a try. Since you mentioned you're already comfortable sharing stories, I'm wondering, if there's one thing you'd like people to know about you, what would it be?
I'm a pretty open book. I mean, I think the one thing I'd want everyone to know about me is that I care and I don't care. Like if you have an opinion or something that you want to talk about, I'll listen. I'm very open minded. So if you have your opinion and it aligns with mine, that's cool. If your opinion is against mine or not with mine, then that's fine too. I'm very open minded with things, and I'll consider every argument and every debate and every idea before I, completely either don't listen to it or agree with it. I'm very open minded.
Your balanced approach to caring deeply while remaining open to different perspectives shows a thoughtful maturity that's quite refreshing. That kind of genuine open-mindedness creates space for meaningful conversations where people feel truly heard. That's all for this interview with Lorenzo. You can hear the rest of their episodes and thousands more like it on the Lynda platform. Create episodes of your own by visiting hellolynda.ai or by downloading Lynda on the Apple App Store today.
And how was that? How was that, folks? Did you listen to the interview? It was interesting. I like the concept of it, but the subscription price is ridiculous. It's like $10 a month, and it opens up more interview questions for it to ask you, because it only has so many lines of interview questions that it asks you. But I like how the AI shapes to what you say, and it's creepy and amazing how good and bad AI is. And I recorded it just off my phone, so it was pretty impressive. The fucking AI shit about it. It's pretty crazy how things are just becoming easier and easier to do. You don't need like all these tools and stuff to like make music or record podcasts or all that. You just need AI and a computer or a phone and AI. AI is gonna take over the world, I tell you. But what I can tell you is that's all funny. Where's the? Uh, yeah, you're gonna end with a mozzarella cheese stick burp. That's all funny, guys. I want to thank you for listening to the podcast. It's available anywhere podcasts are available. Just search "That's All Funny." I did a podcast with my friend Gabe called "That's All Kayfabe." Should people hear it today? It's not the episode's 9/11, but it's not a disaster or a terrorist attack. You should hear it today on Monday. Just look for "That's All Kayfabe" anywhere podcasts are available, or on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Lorenzo Arreola. I got Tits and Areolas on there too. Check that out. It's a great show. I don't know. Check out check that all that. Check out the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Lorenzo. I already said that, didn't I? Feel like I'm repeating myself so much. Check out the Patreon if you want to help support the podcast. Patreon.com/Lorenzo Arreola. Yeah, no, thank you to all the people who help give to the podcast, who support it. I really appreciate it. Their donations there for the prescription pill fund. And thank you for listening. Thank you for rating, reviewing, liking, subscribing, sharing, and watching. I appreciate it. I really do. I don't know. It's amazing. I don't know why people are listening to this. It's just a bunch of baloney, but that's what you get. All no bread, no cheese, all meat. See you later. Bye.